we talked about Ryan Truex having to make the most of his limited opportunities. Carson Kvapil's 2 for 2 in his limited starts and even fewer opportunities for Junior Motorsports. He's certainly making the most of them as well.
Yeah, from one all-star car to the other, it was interesting to see that battle at Dover. Yeah, the case there with Carson Kvapil, I think that's even, I mean, kind of more impressive, I guess, because you look back at Martinsville, that was starting 12th, finished fourth. Well, that's more of his cup of tea with being in the late model scene, um, and that kind of being his niche. But coming to Dover, a mile track with all the banking, and still able to get it done, starting from 26th position, and ended up just runner up there. And Ryan Truex was able to clear him and got that position fair and square, but still an outstanding job there for Carson Kvapil, and another one of those names you'll want to keep an eye on for sure. He is not done.
Yeah, of course, the son of longtime veteran Travis Kvapil, and certainly on the right path to making a future career for himself in this sport. Brandon, I want to ask you, when it comes to Carson, obviously, we talked, I think just last week on the show, actually, about, where the Hendrick drivers are right now, and there's probably not going to be any movement in their Cup program for the next couple of years at least. But when you think about the Xfinity program, do you see an opportunity opening up next year when you think of who's currently in those 4 full-time cars for somebody like Carson Kvapil, if he continues to run as strong as he has here? I almost think if you're Dale Earnhardt Jr., you almost can't afford to keep him on the sidelines, when it comes to finding an Xfinity seat for him in 2025. Otherwise, somebody else might make him an offer he can't refuse and might scoop him up.
Yeah, that's really rough. I think we did talk about that before. Of if there's going to be a weakest link at Junior Motorsports, who's it going to be, and who do you have the hard conversation with? I don't, I don't think if I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Kelly Miller, I'm ready to make that conversation yet. But as you say, if we get some more chances and he shows like, look, you better take me now, or someone's going to yank me away and do great things with me. I mean, I guess I'm looking at Brandon Jones. I mean, that's got to be where you go, right?
Yeah, and it's I don't want to make it personal or anything, or Brandon's been in the series a long time. He's a good guy, and it's, to his credit, had some strong runs here or there. But you just look at since he joined Junior Motorsports, the last calendar year, if you will, the last 365 days, he has 2 top 5 finishes in that 9 car. So Carson Kvapil in his first 2 starts has the same amount of top 5s as Brandon Jones has in the last year. He's got 3 total. You give him Martinsville in the spring in 23 since he came to Junior Motorsports. So, again, I know, Brandon's a veteran, and he has, the sponsorship backing from Menards and a couple of other partners. So he's certainly set in that department. I don't know if he's set if Carson's set, as well as Brandon is. I doubt that's the case, but, again, just based off of performance and merit and statistics, I think it would be very hard to look at what Carson has done. And again, it's a small sample size. We would have to see how he performs over, a few more starts, and, we'll take the average over the course of a full season should he get that opportunity. But I think based on what we've seen so far, based on what we've seen from him in his late model days here, and, the starts that he continues to make over there, based on what we've seen from him and, some ARCA opportunities as well, it's very hard not to look at that and think, okay, this kid's ready for the Xfinity Series. And if you had to make room at the end for Junior Motorsports, I hate to say it, but I think it's pretty clear Brandon Jones would probably be the first one that you would consider moving out of the way to allow Carson to take that seat.
As our friend Kobe Lambeth says, and as a bunch of other people say as well, it's not what you've done for me. How's it go? It's what you've done for me lately.
What you've done for me lately. That's the kind of business that we're in here. And again, just see on the results sheet right there, Brandon Jones down 19th. That's not that you can't have the occasional off day, but that should not be the norm for a Junior Motorsports car. Especially Brandon had speed. He sat on the pole. He sat on the pole at Martinsville. But just has not, for whatever reason, been able to get the results that you would expect, and certainly that you got out of Noah Gragson in that car. Tyler Reddick won a championship there. William Byron, Chase Elliott. I mean, that seat has a lot of success in terms of what drivers have done in that car before he got in it. And unfortunately for Brandon, he has not been able to find that same level of success since he got in that car at the start of last season.
I'm beginning to mount my tinfoil hat bin, because at the 2 places that Carson Kvapil has started, Brandon Jones has started on the pole.
I would just chalk that up to a coincidence at this point. I don't know that there's
for now.
For now, well, we'll see. But again, where did he finish in those races? 27th and 19th. So that's you certainly need to be running a little bit better than that if you're in a junior motorsports car. But again, I think if you're Dale in this situation, I think it's not going to be an easy decision to make, because I think again you got a veteran driver who brings reliable funding, but it's another situation like Josh Berry, and Dale went on his podcast and said, I knew that if we didn't give Josh this opportunity, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. Well, based on how Carson is running now, I think, it could be another situation like that where you look at the stats that he's put up in such limited starts so far, and, how can this kid not be in the conversation for a full-time seat?
Yeah, absolutely.